For those of you watching at home, one of my last videos, I'll put it up here, I could only shoot one at a time because the carrier plunger spring and the carrier plunger, the thing that goes from right there to this little hole right here, and then it goes back into there, and that is what makes this shoot shells up. So I could only shoot one at a time, and that was horrible. Alright everyone, I got the Benelli in about 45 pieces still. I did get the carrier spring and the carrier spring plunger today. Here's the old one. In this video, I'm going to take this trigger all the way down to just the trigger, and then I'll have a part 2 where I take out the trigger, because right now I want to put in this carrier spring and carrier spring plunger. I want to get replace the carrier. The way that is, you can get a longer one so your finger doesn't get pinched in there, and if you have a Benelli, you know what I'm talking about. So I will be doing that in the second part. I will be replacing the trigger in the second part, and I will be replacing the safety in the second part of this video. So typically what you would do is you would have your carrier spring plunger in here like that, and you'd have the spring on, and you'd have to push that down and take it out. And the newer ones, there's just a washer in there instead of it being a plastic piece. So if you have the washer, take that out at the same time. Now you want to release the spring for the cartridge drop lever from the cartridge drop lever. So I'm going to switch this over. I don't need all that. And you just take it, you pull that up and over. There we go. There. Now we've gotten that to the side. One other thing I should have said, take the safety off, put your finger on the hammer, and let it slowly come up. Alright. Now you flip it over to this side, and there's a D-ring, a D-clip there. You want to be very careful. I looked online to try to find a new one of these to order, because I just wanted to order everything, and I could not find these online. I should have asked the guy at Benelli, but I didn't. So all that means to me is that I don't want this to go flying around my house and not be able to find it. And it is so tiny. That's what it looks like. So you just want to flip it up over and then gently pull it out. That's what you want to do there. Now, well, we got the hammer spring and the hammer spring cap here, and it's wanting to come out already. I was going to say what you can do is you push this over just a tiny bit, and then the carrier drop lever will push out of the way of the hammer spring cap, and then you gently, it kind of binds on the hammer here. We should be able to gently coax this out. Nope, it's not going to let me. So I'm gonna push the trigger group pin, the bushing, all the way through here. That'll help. But I'm keeping my thumb on the hammer spring and the hammer spring cap, because I do not want the stuff to go flying. So here's the trigger group pin. You You can see on one side it has the holes for the D-ring, and the other side it has like a cap on it. This also has like a the carrier spring drop lever. You can see there's a recess in there to take the cap. I'm going to take the hammer spring cap out before my thumb gets tired here. And the spring. And now the hammer comes right out. This really needed to be cleaned bad. Now, one thing about the cartridge or the carrier with the breech bolt, we got the carrier with the breech bolt that needs to come out now. One thing about it is this pin will drop out if I just pull it right out, but if you tip it over and then pull it out, or not, tip it over, then pull it out. I got the carrier with the breech bolt latch and pin. It should have just fell out when I did this, or this, but it didn't. Oh, there it went. And it's the same with that other one. You can see it has a cap on one side. There's probably a recess. You can see that there's a recess on this side and not on that side. So that is as far as I'm going to take it today. In part 2, I will take out the safety and the trigger and all that good stuff. But for now, hopefully that helps you. I'm going to, for this video, I'm going to clean this up. I'll come back, I'll reassemble it, and hopefully that helps. Alright, so I took a little toothbrush and a little breakthrough cleaner and just clean it up a bit, as much as I want before I do the rest of the upgrades to this. We're going to put it back together. I'm going to kind of wipe everything down as we go, and I'll cut that out. So let's see, you want the breech bolt, latch orientated like this with the recession on the bottom, and you put it like that onto your carrier, and then you take that tiny little pin with the head that goes in the recess, bang, you got that. And as long as I keep it like that, it shouldn't do anything. When you look at the trigger, I think this is the trigger assembly. I'm not a gun expert here, guys. I just deal with my Super Black Eagle. So yeah, so because if I flip it like this, I risk losing the breacher bolt latch pin. You take it like this, you stick it in there, and then it rides down into place. Now the breech bolt latch will stay there pretty much by itself. The next thing you want to do is take the cartridge drop lever, and a good trick for right now is to get this little part back under the spring. That's kind of in reverse order of how I did it last time, but it just makes it easier to get that spring on there. Alright, once you get the hole lined up, and this is crucial, this is tricky part. Now the hammer spring and the hammer spring cap have to go back down in there. Then we got to put this trigger group pin bushing thing with the D-ring through there and put the hammer on. So it's not that simple. So let's get this down in there first. Now this is where it gets tricky, because you want you want to make sure that this hole is perfectly lined up, because if it's not, once you have the hammer spring and the hammer spring cap pushed down there with your one thumb, it will suck. And it just does not want to line up. There. No. Yes, no. Right there. Somewhere. It's getting close. Let's see if I can get the trigger group pin in there just a tiny bit just to get these started. Come on, what's the deal? There, okay, I got it started just a little bit, and that's going to help me, whoops, keep this all in place. You push the hammer spring cap and the hammer spring down, then use the cartridge drop lever, that tab, push hard on this, then you want to pull this back out. I know this is awkward, sorry about this. Then you put the hammer in. And then you push the trigger group pin all the way through. Bang. Right now I'd put it on safety and push the hammer back in there. Be super careful because if you don't put on safety or something, if this drops, this hammer could go flying. Alright, we're real close here. So now we're going to put this D-ring back on. Like so, just like a so, and then I'll get the carrier spring plunger, carrier spring. Now this captured end of the spring, that's what goes into the breech bolt latch there, right? So first I'm going to put the free end, I'm going to compress the screw, put it down in this hole. Come on. Come on, Slim. I don't want to do it that way. I wonder if it'll let me do it this way. Alright, I'm going to wrestle this baby in there. So push her down here. Come on, baby. In through that hole. And get this breech bolt latch spun around here. Bang, I got the plunger in there. Make sure you put it in that little hole and not up here. That's what you want it to do. That's assembled. So now I'm going to take the safety off. I'm going to put my finger on the hammer. I'm going to try the trigger. Seems work. I got pressure there. Put that back on. Lock it. Don't have any extra pieces. I do have the rest of it kind of torn up here, but one other trick is when you put this back in your gun, there's a little notch right there, you can see, and that has to go right here. You can see there's a little mark there. So when you put this in, do that, and then the next thing you got to worry about is this on the side. So got to push this in real nice and smooth. Make sure, well, now it's not cooperating there, like that. right? It's hard to video and do this. All right, then push in that. And put in this pin that I have in here somewhere. And bang, your trigger assembly is back in there. I have a few more things I'm doing to this gun right now, so hopefully that helps. Look out for part 2, where I replace the safety and the trigger and the carrier. See what I'm talking about, that hole? The new carrier does not have this dig out, and it goes all the way up there. So when you're trying to jam in real fast, you're not going to lose a thumbnail. I mean, that's ridiculous. Complete one of the design flaws of Benelli. All right, like I said 3 or 4 times already in this video. Hopefully you appreciated it and this helped. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.